And hi everyone, and welcome to our first edition of Microsoft Monday. In this video, we're going to explore the difference between Microsoft Office 365 web versus desktop apps. Now, in order to get started, let's go to publicboard.ca, and if you are a staff or student of the school board, click on the Office 365 link above to gain access to your account. Once you're inside of your account, if you don't happen to have the desktop version installed on your local device, click on the Install Office button to install a copy directly to your personal device. Now, when working with documents inside of Office, by default, those documents will be saved directly to your OneDrive account where they will always be accessible as long as you have access to the internet. When we're working inside Microsoft Word, there are going to be some subtle differences when working in the web app versus the desktop app. One of those differences is going to be when working with text. By default, text will either be aligned to the left, the center, or to the right. The same also applies to working with images, but if you want to move those images to something other than left, right, or center, or if you're looking for more functions and features than what can be found in the basic web version, you're going to want to be able to open up Microsoft Word in the desktop version. So in order to do that, click on the editing button and click on the option that says Open in Desktop App. What it's going to do is it's going to take the work that we're working on online and open directly on the local desktop version. Now, when you're working with the desktop version, you're going to notice that you're going to find a lot more functions and features that you now have access to within the desktop version. You also now have the option of working with things like clip art, where if you change its wrapping properties, you now have the ability to move that image anywhere you want on the screen. So for example, if I wanted to move that just right in this location here, which isn't exactly right or center, but somewhere in the middle between, I now have the ability to click on Save, which will now take this document and save that directly to my local OneDrive account. Let's now move on to Microsoft Excel. When working with the web app version of Excel, if I want to take this document and I want to change things like its font properties and size, you now have the ability to change that, along with do things like change data, making it ascending or descending. So for example, a sample here where I've got different types of pies and I want to make the different types of pies sort in ascending order. I now have the ability to do that as well. If, for example, I wanted to create a pie chart or I wanted to create some formulas, I can now also do that in the desktop version of Excel, where this will open up in my local version of Microsoft Excel found on my desktop computer. And at this point now, if I wanted to add some formulas, so for example, I wanted to add all of the different pies that were made in this example. You could add some basic examples along with do some graphing. So under the insert menu, and again, you can graph online. The difference here is that it will create even more fancier graphs and applications because some of these functions and features are not located directly on the web app. Let's now move to PowerPoint. PowerPoint's interesting in that you can do quite a bit online. The difference is with the web version, you're only going to find certain quantities of features. So for example, if I wanted to work with slide transitions are available on the online version, but you're only going to find limited quantities of the different variations of transitions, along with things like animations. So if you're wanting to do more things with animations or special effects, you have to go on the desktop version of PowerPoint in order to take advantage of those features. And lastly is going to be Microsoft OneNote. OneNote is going to be the note-taking application found within the Office suite of applications. The advantage of the desktop app is that you're going to find a lot more functions and features to work with. So for example, if you want to take advantage of the learning tools, this is something that's only going to be found on the desktop app, and that includes the dictation tool. So for example, you can speak directly in the microphone and it will automatically dictate what you're saying and put the text directly in the document, along with the immersive reader. The immersive reader basically takes text and read it back to you. It also has the ability, if you have an ink or touch enabled device, the ability to draw directly on the document or highlight. So there you have it, folks. I hope that you found this video helpful.